Time you say, I'm not God. I can't be God, or well, to
So,
me,
so you count that. You count that up as sin.
that's a sin. Because you're
You
you're
got-
transgressing who and what. Watch this. Watch the implications behind it.
Go ahead.
Let's for humor's sake, let's say you are God and you can be the greatest change on this planet. You, whoever's watching this, and you say, "Well, I am not that. I can't change anything." And I need to go look outside of myself and find something or someone or some place to go to get me in a state of consciousness
Right.
to come close or try, if I choose to try, because a lot of people use, Jesus, Yeshua, or whatever as an excuse
Right.
to fall short.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So what you've done now, you've taken your sovereign ability to make a change in the world, to put your energies and your powers to help the needy, the poor, sick, widowers, so on and so forth. And it's not about just the works. It's just about being that change in the world to help uplift the vibration of the planet. You're saying that I'm not able to do that because I'm less than.
Right. You're not that.
I am not that. What greater sin is that
Yeah. Right.
than to be a source of positive upliftment and change for all people?
Right.
It said if one person feeds a starving person or helps to heal a sick person,
Just one.
just one, you've already started to change the world.
You already charted. Even your change of thinking will change.
Change the world.
Will change the world.
Yep.
Change yourself first, and you'll change the world.
Change the way you think.
Right.
You change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Right. So that's why I was saying in the beginning, yo, there's certain things I just don't deal with. I don't deal with saying whatever is wrong or right, because I've changed my thinking on the world. Because I know it's all love, it's all teaching, it's all the one learning from itself.
All right. And choosing how to express itself
Self.
based on the actions of the
Actions.
things that's happening all around it.
Exactly.
You have a choice. It's all based on choices.
All choice.
Interesting.
Any
Yeah,
more? Got any more?
That was the last thing from Malak.
Okay.
Everyone's working out with fear and working out their salvation with fear and trembling. That's an interesting thought in itself. Fear and trembling. I fear the actions. That's what I fear. I fear the only fear I would have is that I make a choice that's least for my highest good, and I have to deal with that some say karma, but deal with that cause and effect of that down the road, whether in this life or the next.
Right.
That's the fear. If I was afraid, that's the fear that I would have. Like, man, I pray that I set myself up for heaven in the next world. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think I put some up the other week, last week, about that, about be kind to your past.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So it can be kind to your present, so you can be kind to your future, if that's what you subscribe to.
Oh, speaking of which, this is a New York Times bestseller. It's funny because since I've had these spiritual awakenings, I was actually talking to a coworker at work about like my understanding of reincarnation.
Right.
And I gave him I work with analogies and stories and so on and so forth about like he had a brother that committed suicide.
Right.
And he was like he was on drugs and stuff like that, but he was also he was a very loving person, he's a very giving person. I'm just trying to understand. I didn't understand, I want to say it was his younger brother. He's like, I didn't understand, I always was getting my stuff together and then he'll be okay, and then it's just like things that just happen, but he always go out his way to help people.
Right.
And what I told him is like, well, that maybe it doesn't make someone bad or evil that does these things or whatever the case may be. Sometimes based on causes and effects in previous lives. In this life is the most important because it's the one you're living, and
Right.
it's the one you have an opportunity to make a change, like you said, to love now or do everything now to better the future, whether it's a future in this life or, if you believe that, future in
Right.
another life.
Exactly.
Or the next world, is all most religious says, the next world. I'm not gonna say all, most, or a lot. But I ended up going to Barnes and Nobles that night, and I started looking through the bookshelf, and this book popped up. It's called Many Lives and Many Masters, and it's the true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives. This is by Brian L. Weiss, MD, and not verbatim, but the same scenario I gave him actually was in this book when I opened it to peruse through it. And I actually screenshotted it and sent it to him. He's like, yo, who are you? But I say that to say this is a great book for those who are just curious. I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to convince you anything. He is not the only doctor that does hypnotherapy. I think I read a few of his books. He was doing past life regressions, and even he got to the point where he was progressing. So he'll send your consciousness, or he'll hypnotize you and send you to the future. And he did tests on it where the person, let's say they were in a bad state and they were negative. Let's say they were negative thinking and so on and so forth.
Right.
So he progressed them into the future to see what it looks like.
Right.
And it wasn't good. Or what we would say, it wasn't a good outcome.
Right.
And when he came back to the guy, and mind you, every one of these things has a lesson for the person right now.
Right, exactly.
And he had the guy do some exercises and work, and the guy came back like whenever, and he was like in a better place, like consciously, like he's aware. And he's like, man, it's a beautiful day. So then he progressed him, and he was living a whole different life. You know, he's like a doctor, and he was doing this, and and it's profound, and it goes into, well, how do I know? I don't believe none of that. You don't have to believe it.
Right.
It's just a perspective.
It's
just a perspective. Many lives and many masters. And I also said this is Destiny of Souls, but you have Journey of Souls. Many Lives, Many Masters is by Dr. Brian L. Weiss, MD. And Destiny of Souls, I would suggest you read Journey of Souls if you decide to read it. It's by Dr. Michael Newton, PhD. Very, very good. And you'll find out about past lives, future lives, in between lives, where you're dealing with spirits, situations with transition when you immediately when you lay down this physical vehicle to, I see myself floating, I'm looking down, yada, yada, yada. You have near-death experiences, so on and so forth. It's a lot of things out there outside of your box.
Right.
And again, I'm speaking to everybody, but for those who are going through their spiritual awakening and they have a lot of questions about a lot of things, we're just here to share and let you know you're not alone. Right. And ye are gods, or AKA you are aspects of the source having a physical experience.
Okay. I think we done covered it.
Okay.
If anybody have any questions or whatever, when the video drop, we on YouTube. Put it down in the comment section. And we'll answer it. We don't have a problem with answering anything. Trust me, because all we got to do is give you our perspective on it. Like you give your perspective by answering the question, or just saying, "Oh, I don't believe y'all guys."
That's fine.
I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. I'm gonna tell you, I love it. It really just makes me be more of my ascension to where I want to be at. Because when I start changing, you ain't gonna have no choice. Because the energy or that source, once enough of us change, you're gonna start changing.
Right.
Somebody's gonna change. Now, it may not be tomorrow, might not be next week, but it's gonna be a change. Maybe
Right.
20 years later, oh, you know what? I remember the brothers was saying that on a podcast I saw 20 years ago. They were saying the same stuff. Man, this is interesting.
The shifts
So,
and changes are happening right now.
oh yeah, always. So with that's being said, much love and light to you all. Blessings upon you, love upon you.
Yes.
All and that's for the higher good of everyone, and the higher good of me, and the higher good of this podcast, the higher good of all things that you have that you're dealing with. May it be the highest good for you and your loved ones.
Yes.
Like I say, we appreciate everyone who watch the podcast, who leave messages, who share it. We just want to thank you. I think the last time we was talking about the podcast on YouTube, I think it was like at 102 subscribers.
Okay.
That was, but within that week,
Mm-hmm.
it was like 126. But I was doing some other stuff. I was
Okay.
getting the algorithm start to come our way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you do certain things. So, but it's getting out there to the people, man. We love y'all for it, man. We just want to thank y'all and continue to build with us, and we'll build with y'all.
And thank you for your support. Again, I'm not gonna be one of the guys that say, hit the subscribe button or any of that stuff. But if anything that we talk about touches your heart, and you feel guided to subscribe, so be it. If not, so be it. Definitely, if you have questions, concerns, thoughts, if something wasn't clear, ask it in the comment section.
Right.
All right. I want to thank you. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us. Peace, much love, and namaste. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.